A good old-fashioned butt whooping by none other than herself, Mother Nature. You old dog. I am northbound up out of Wyoming into Montana, coming up to I-90. Hauled a load of cattle down to Burlington. Actually, it was Cheyenne Wells. We're gonna hone that in a little tighter. Cheyenne Wells, Colorado. Got to get today back across Montana over to the west side to load some more cattle that you've seen already previously in some episodes. We're getting that deal pretty close to wrapped up. And what better way to go out than doing so on a bunch of winter death bomb rice roads. A little bit challenging to film because my attention is divided between speaking and sitting in silence. When I'm on bad roads, I don't like to do anything. I like it to be pure quiet, no radio, no nothing, no nothing. Just quiet, just listen to the truck, listen to the wind in the windows, listen to the vibrations, and just be totally clued in. Not real sure where this episode's gonna go. I really actually am doing it because I want to show you're gonna meet a few more new people, and I wanted to kind of illustrate just the dynamic of different characters out here on the road. Well, you guys, good morning. We made it here. We made it back over to Missoula. We're sitting here, me and old Wyatt, and it was a lot of weather yesterday. It was a lot of weather. I forgot how stressful that can be, but we made it. The cab over, empty. I'm not a huge fan of it, pulling this quad axle. In the bad roads, I'm finding that lugging that big old trailer up these hills with so much weight clearing the back and so little weight on the truck causes my tires to spin quite a bit easier than what I'm used to. Also, going down the mountains, if it's really slick, I got to be super careful empty because I have all that weight pushing the truck now down the hill. Yeah. Here goes the plow boys. See them go by there on the highway. That's good. I'm glad to see that because that's the way we're going. And right out the window over there is a big mountain we got to climb up. We don't need to be up where we're going till noon. It's about 9 o'clock right now. Got out this morning, checked the truck, fired everything up, built up the air, rolled it forward a little bit. None of the brakes are froze up. All the usual wintertime checklist items. Everything seems to be well. So I did get to use my bunk heater last night for the first time full. I ran it from midnight till 7 this morning. Engine heater, which heats my engine and my bunk. What can I say? My auxiliary batteries went from 12.9 when we parked down to about 12.1 this morning, which is not bad for 7 hours of running. I was worried the defrost fan would use a lot more juice than that, but it doesn't. So, oh no, that doesn't look good. Okay, so special little treasure for you here. So right here we got my main man JV, who is the sheriff. He's the sheriff here. Nobody knows that though, because he doesn't wear his. He normally has a hat and like all spurs and stuff he wears when he rolls around, but not today. And then over here we got old Keithard. Look at that beard. There's one guy that has a better beard than me, and it's Keithard. Right? And then we got old Wyatt, who you know has been rolling with me. But here's the common link, you guys. I met all these guys through Instagram. Aren't we all so weird? Bumping across the country here in a little known part of Montana called Camas Prairie. This is a mountain valley in western Montana that very few people have probably heard of or been through. Anytime we load, you know, the cattle buyer will say, come up, you know, be there at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. You go out there and the cattle are never ready to load until 1 o'clock. So we had breakfast there with JD, the sheriff, caught up. We're, you know, been good friends for a lot of years now, and like to catch up when we can. So kind of took our time there, Then I went over and got a new water separator filter and slapped on this truck. And of course, it's about 11 o'clock. This place is a little over an hour away from where we're at. It's 11 o'clock and cattle buyer calls and is like, hey, where are you guys at? And I'm like, it's snowy outside. Don't tell me that with this snow outside, you guys are actually ready for us early. Anyway, it was good that we waited because the roads coming up here were they were not real great. So we let them clear off, let the sun come out. And anyway, funny coincidence. I'm going to teach you a trick real quick. I'm in the trailer spreading sawdust, and how do you know if you have quality wood chips or not? You cut around the sides, okay? You peel it back, and zoom out. You peel it back, and if your wood chips can dump out, like if I can pick the bag up now and dump out the wood chips, that would mean that they're not packed in very tight and you kind of got ripped. These chips, you need to cut the side. That's how you know. If you cut the top and tip it over and they just pour out and they're not packed, see how them are packed and then you gotta flake them out? And them are good chips. Trucks loaded. Gonna go back. Keith's just bumping the chute. These are brand papers. Health papers, the big white one. The blue one is brand papers. In Montana, basically, actually, any state west of the Missouri River have brand laws, meaning that your cattle need to be branded for ownership. And before you can transact any cattle sales, an official inspector who's state certified to inspect your cattle brands comes and looks at each individual calf or cow or bull or whatever you're moving and goes, yep, and accounts for all of them. Man, oh man, check out that ice, huh? It's getting warmer though. Look at Wyatt's puddle trail already coming down the road. All that ice we picked up yesterday coming back from Colorado. Dripping, dripping, dripping. Shedding that weight. Get lighter. Here's my my lift axle box. Frozen shut. Come on now. That's what happens when you're trying to film with one hand and do a two-handed job. There it is. There it is. That lets that axle down. She is. She's cold. Brr. Frozen. Brr. Oh, it's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night. Just a quick update. We've been rolling. Not a lot of things heading our way. We've got Wyatt, who felt the vibration in his driveline and pulled into a rest area there. And upon inspecting his truck, his drive shaft fell off. out of the ground. Let's see, what next? So Wyatt, his driveline fell off. Of course, when you're loaded with cattle, there's no worse way to break down. So calling everybody, scrambling, trying to find a truck. There's a lot of options. I mean, there's an option of you can find an empty truck, you know, put the cattle on that truck, send them on their way. There is, if you can find a local guy that would load them and run them part way across the state, I would try to have him meet up with one of my other rigs that's coming back from Nebraska. Fix it, find a service guy. There's so many things that you hit them all at once at the same time. You're like, we're doing it all. You start calling, looking for trucks. You start talking to the parts guys. You start calling for mobile service dudes. And in the end, we did find parts. We've got the parts. We're gonna have a sheriff's deputy run them out. Shout out to old JD, huh? You guys ever get through Missoula, you pat them sheriff's deputies. Good boys over there. Here's the thing. Bozeman, Montana, don't ask me why, may as well be its own little land. And it's never more evident than in the wintertime, because people move in and they drive like absolute ding-dongs. You know what a ding-dong is? I don't know. It is whatever you want it to be, but they drive just something terrible. Currently, there are 3 different wrecks in Bozeman, just all over. I'm like, you guys, it's wintertime now, okay? You can't just drive like you do. Just pay attention. The last couple of years, it's just gotten to be ridiculous around Bozeman. It's like the joke of the state, because people there drive so terribly. You're like, you're not from there. You're not from. So Keithard, look at all this hair.
Look at all the snow.
Yeah,
I have the hair.
Woo! It's a good time to be a hairy man.
Yeah, it is.
So how would you rate the day so far?
Man, this has been a pretty poor day.
Pretty poor.
Yeah.
As you guys may notice, we're one short. We're man down. Wyatt is still on the side of the freeway right now, hopefully getting fixed up, but he's going to be a good 6-7 hours behind us. I have a plan for that tomorrow. We'll see how it comes together, but breaking down loaded is the worst thing in the world, the worst ever. So we got topped off. It's been really icy, really nasty. You slipped a few times?
Yeah, I slipped a couple times. Yeah.
You guys, there's a difference between spinning out and slipping. Spinning out would be
Stopped on the hill.
you're stuck.
Can't go.
You cannot go.
Yeah.
But a lot of people confuse that with that their wheels just spun. So you can slip or you can spin out.
A slip is a butt clench
Yeah.
in the seat.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna rock it on. Keep on moving. Hang tight. Just in case anybody was curious, 1 below 0 tonight. Update from the road for you. It's been a really long night. It's about 4 a.m., 4:30. Wyatt just finally got his truck together and going. He's so far behind, I think he's gonna have to unload his cattle and let them get some feed and water in the morning for 4 or 5 hours before he reloads them and heads this way. Keith is a little bit behind me. I wanted to get just into South Dakota. Normally we get about halfway across South Dakota when we take our nap. I just barely got to the border is all. That's how slow it's been. And as I pulled in here, my low air light came on. Engine fan that you can hear is on now because I'm low on air. I don't have the energy to go fix it in the dark. Anyway, I want to go take a nap. It's been quite a trip so far, and it's not even close to over. So. everybody. We're back with you. Back onto the program. Tell you what, a couple things happened. That air issue that I was having, the ice in my line melted in the night while I was taking my little snooze. I woke up, my air tanks were full, haven't had any problems since. That's a stroke of luck. I'm trying something today, which is, even though inside I feel corroded and dead, I'm trying to stay bright-eyed and happy. So like, I just fueled up, and the gal at the desk is like, how's it going? And I'm like, it's great. It's great. How are you going? Kind of took her by surprise, you know? I'm just trying to really be nice. Try it. I highly recommend it. That's what I'm trying to say. Little shout out to Carrick, owner of that 359 Peterbilt you saw a little earlier. Had a nice little chat with that old boy. He definitely is an old school. Definitely an old school at heart. It's all right. Everything's all right, you guys. It's all right. Every little thing is gonna be all right. Cattle are off. They're off. You guys, check out this ice. I showed it to you earlier. Check this out, and then I want to ask you something. All this up in here, up on my frame. This is where my legs would come down to park my trailer. All this ice. Check out the running gear back here. Ice, ice, baby. Ice everywhere. Ice, ice, ice. Ice thick, gobby, gnarly ice. The question is, what do you think this ice weighs on my truck? Make a guess how much ice. I'm going to tell you in a second. I want you to just guess to yourself. 7,000 pounds. See, this is my current empty weight. My normal empty weight would be 35,300 pounds. That's so much ice. That might be a record. Man alive. I've had a lot of snow before, where like blowing snow gets up in everything, but this is just like pure ice. You get them all out of there, Keither? That's it?
The trip that never ends has ended.
Man, you look good in blue. Yeah, buddy. Just right there.
This is all the new style here.
Yeah.
We're gonna get rid of these chrome and we're going to Arctic look.
I wonder if they would
Not much of a warranty on those guys, I think.
No, kind of custom.
Yeah,
custom fit. Oh man, you guys, feeling like $1,000 this morning. I mean $1,000. We made it back just a little ways. We pulled over and I think we slept for 10 hours. It was really good. I gotta show you something. This hopefully will help somebody out there at some point in their trucking career. I did have a little problem this morning. So I started my truck, it started great, no problems there, but I wasn't making any air. So this is my air pressure here, my air tanks. We have two air tanks that both need to fill up, and they were both only getting to about 60 PSI. And that was it. They wouldn't go any higher. And I kept hearing a psh, psh, psh. Now what's supposed to happen in your truck is once it builds up to 125 pounds, the air compressor will divert its air away from your tanks and to another place, and you go down the road and you have air now for your brakes. You start using some of that air, the air compressor turns on, and then when you hear that big push of air, and shuts off, so to speak. So I kept hearing this thing going psh, 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 but I only had 60 psi in my tanks. So that led me to find a problem with my air dryer. It was not blowing air out of my purge valve. It was blowing air out of a safety relief valve, okay? So that made me figure out that I had air going to my air dryer, but not getting through my air dryer to my air tanks, meaning there's some ice in there somewhere. So let me show you. Sorry, it's gonna be really loud. But right here is your air dryer, okay? This line right here is air coming from my air compressor into my air dryer. On the other side, there's a line that goes to my air tanks. It was not getting through this, which is rare. It wasn't getting through here. So I took this hose off. Put some alcohol in it. Put the hose back on and push that alcohol through and it melted the ice. Now we're making air pressure. Well, there goes our boy old Keithard. We've had a good run, y'all. We've overcome what I would say is the most exhausting trip that I have done in a long time, if ever. This might take the cake for the number one, and I did it all with old Keithard. Woo, buddy. Good times, y'all. Good times. Hope you're enjoying a little peek into this cattle hauling adventure that we live. Wyatt ended up getting out, almost made it. Wyatt had the worst trip ever. You know, he had the troubles with his driveline falling off, overcame that adversity, and then this morning he called and said that his front rear end went out about 100 miles from the feedlot. So we fortunately had a truck there real close by. Mr. Kyle Knapp down there in Norfolk. Kyle, you might be watching out there. Shout out to you, my friend. Sent a truck up right straight away, got those cattle off and delivered safely and happily. And poor Wyatt is headed back up to Mitchell, South Dakota to wait in line to get a new front rear end put in his truck. So Wyatt had a tough one, we had a tough one, but nobody's so bad as young Mr. Wyatt. So anyway, you guys, we're gonna carry on. I'm headed up to the shop here in Billings. I've had an injector, I think, pretty sure we're gonna find out in the morning, but I feel like I have an injector that has been getting progressively worse. When I let off the throttle and get back into the throttle, I have an injector that's missing just for a second or two and then comes alive. So I'm gonna try to get that squared away in the shop tomorrow, shape up a few other things. Maybe I'll bring you along, and then we got a load back here in Wyoming on Tuesday to run down to Abilene, Texas, and that's gonna be a long haul, y'all. So do it long haul, y'all. Come along for the ride, you guys, and we'll just keep these cracking to you. Until next time, be good.